Hello everyone and welcome to the Manufacturer Series Top 16 Superstars. This is in Exhibition Season 2 in the 2019 season, and we are of course in Audi this year. So this is the Audi R8 and this is my qualifying lap in this Top 16 Superstars. As you can see, TRL Aug has done an absolutely phenomenal first banker lap of a 201.3. I've not even seen that on any of my qualifying times. I wasn't expecting to get pole here at all after seeing that. But if you look on the right hand side there, we've got a 202.9 at the moment in terms of qualifying laps so far. We've got a lot of work to do here. We're expecting a 201.7 to a 202 dead, basically, is what we're after. So coming into this first corner, nice and steady through here we go. Just clip that curb around about 0.5 to a mile an hour slower than we normally are, but even so, that's not too bad so far as we come into this corner here. It's about getting tight here, get on the power as early as we can, lose it a little bit there, cost us a little bit of time, but all the same, we can still see Stefanzi up ahead, so all well and good as we come through here, flat out, nearly clip that barrier there, continue on down this hill, we'll chuck it into 5th gear, get the car around as best as we can, still flat out here, going over the crest of the hill now, look, come off the power, let that weight transition back to a normal stabilisation of 50-50, not all of it over the rear as we come down this hill. This is the most trickiest part of the circuit in an MR car. As we come down here, we just do this very safe, not aggressive at all. Rear still wanted to come out a little bit there, but because we were safe, it didn't come out too much, so we continue on with the laps. We lost a lot of time in this downhill section here, just because we were trying to be a bit safe, and we lose a little bit more there in that left-hander. The rear came out there, losing a little bit of acceleration on the exit as well as we head down the hill. Now we'll see where we are in terms of sector times when we get up to this this gantry here, and we are 0.8 up, which is a 202.1, but we're still not in the 201s where we want to be, so we're going to have to really push on this last sector. Do we do that? Break around the V on that word, come into here, still a little bit safe here, not overly aggressive, and you needed to be aggressive here. Look at all that track we had left on the left hand side, inches of space there to use as we come down into the last corner now. It's all about getting it round this corner safe and sound. We do that nicely. We actually do catch up to Stefanzi there right at the end, so maybe a little bit of slipstream helping us towards the line. And it's a 202.1, so not the greatest of laps. As I said, I did want a 201 there, and you can see that if we got the 201, we'd have been well near, you know, well in the top 10 basically. 6th place, probably not 5th, it'd have been close, we'd have needed a perfect lap there. But TRL Aug showing some serious form there, getting pole with that. Rick in P2 there, we know how good the FT1 is. Steve Gaming in the Jaguar. Jaguar's good here, as is that BMW. AMG always a solid car as well. Devil also in the FT1. Jomas first of the MR cars there. P7, P8 for TRL Lightning. P9 there for Adam in the BMW, and we get P10 there. So we did get top 10, which is nice, beating a Porsche there. Sutsu in P11, Snake in P12. Giangi P13 in the Lamborghini Huracan. Stefanzi P14, doing very well with that Hyundai. My Audi opponent there, Benito, and then we have a Pug there, rounding out the top 16. Pug Power still returning to these top 16s all the same. Now, strategy was critical here. So a few of the guys, so the BMW in front of me for example, can do a non-stop on mediums. Now that isn't possible in the Audi. A couple of other cars had the chance of doing it if they looked after their tyres very well. So you know, the McLaren in front of us could do it. Jomas went on hard tyres because the Ferrari couldn't do it, and coming into this first turn we just lose out massively, but fortunately this Audi is fast on a straight line, so we should be able to hold off Sutsu, only just though. We are out the slipstream of TX3 Adam, but let's see what happens as we head down towards this right-hander at the end of the straight. You've got to be careful here with cold tyres as well, so I'm going to brake slightly earlier than I normally would do anyway, and we get that turned in very nicely. See, Sutsu actually ran a little bit wide there, dirty air and cold tyres. Lightning did as well in the McLaren up ahead. So it's all about just getting into the rhythm at this point, keeping with the pack, and then understanding what the strategies are in this field. The best car I would say in this field at this moment in time is the BMW for Bathurst. It seems so strong in some of the practice lobbies that I did. You know, with the tyres. In fact, you can do a medium non-stop, and other cars really have to look after their tyres to be able to do that. Otherwise, you've got to go on hard tyres to do it. And I was debating mediums and hards. I could do both, to be fair, but I decided to go on mediums and just enjoy the race as best as I could. Coming down here again, just being ultra safe. You can see as we continue on a bit further. Not sure what happened with the footage there, but even so, we continue on. Leaving there, absolutely no problem. So we've got Lightning, Adam up ahead. We've got Jomas a bit further ahead. Now, at this moment in time, I wasn't sure what Jomas was doing. I could see side-by-side action up ahead as well, and you can see that on the footage as well. So I found out later on Jomas was on the hard tyres, and you'll see that shortly. So you see Adam is now going for the move on Lightning, so I'm thinking, ooh, can I have a bit of an opportunity here? So I start to try and follow Adam, but there's just not enough room there for the Audi. Now, I could have gone for the risk of putting it on the grass a little bit and making that space a little bit wider, but we're approaching the braking zone of a very fast corner, very hard braking. So I didn't want to go for that risk, and I thought that there would be a better opportunity to show itself later on in the race, with it being only lap 1 of 9. So crossing that line, we haven't made any ground. We're still in the same position, an okay-ish lap. We can see a lot of the field up ahead, and I can see Jomas there as well. So obviously, it was the whole goal of this, and you may have seen this on Twitter. Twitter is in the description if you want to follow me on that. Was to be the best of the MR cars, basically, minus the Porsche, of course. So Ferrari, McLaren, Audi, let's see what we could do. As up ahead, you can see SVDR now overtaking Jomas. So at this point, I started to realise Jomas is on a different strategy to everybody else. He's on the hard tyres. You can see that straight away. So Jomas going defensive there. We check 3 Adam trying to go around the outside here. Very hard to do. So that slowed everybody up, and I really should have gone left, but I don't know what it was with Lightning's car. My car just wanted to turn into his bumper, so Lightning defended that position. I could have gained a position there. I'm really sure of it. Tsutsu behind me as well. We've got a train of cars here, the Jomas train, basically, as we continue across the line. So it's all about getting past Jomas as best as we can, getting into the pits, getting some fresh boots on the car, and then really pounding out some laps to see if we can make up that gap. That will inevitably close, because by the end of the race, you know, fresh tyres to old tyres, it was like a 3-second gap. It was very, very significant. So we're going to cross this gantry now, and we're heading towards this right-hander. You see Adam looking for a move on Jomas, doesn't quite get it done down here. You have to stay behind Jomas. Up the hill, of course, nowhere to overtake really, not without contact or some form of mistake from your opponent. So it's just status quo in the Jomas train here, coming into this left-hander. All nice clean racing though, I've got to say. I mean, look at that TV camera there on the right hand side. Train of cars, Ferrari, BMW, McLaren, Audi, Lamborghini and Porsche in there as well. So Giangi had got past Tsutsu. Last lap, going down the hill I believe it was as well, I'm not sure what happened there. Going into the left-hander. Again, all nice and clean, got to be careful of dirty air here as well. On that fast left-hander, it will play a significant role. So we now come down the hill, so we're just making sure we don't rear-end the Lightning there. Into the left, we just really screw that up, and we lose a significant amount of time there. Significant, completely. In fact, I think Giangi got him on the straight actually, rather than downhill last lap. But even so, we continue on, and we've lost a significant gap to Lightning. We're just in that slipstream, like only just, and then we're out of it. So we've got a significant amount of work to do. Giangi actually had a penalty there for some reason, not sure what that was for. So we continue on now towards the the slight right into the left-hander, and Jomas is going to be defensive surely. No, Adam goes down the inside there. Jomas is lost another position now. As I say, racing hard tyres aren't competitive versus the mediums until probably the next lap, and then the crossover starts to happen. But obviously that's when people go in the pits. So we're joining back up with this Jomas train, losing carriages all the time here. But this time it's all 3 MR cars in a line as we start lap number 4. Now this is potentially the pitting lap. Obviously 4.5 is halfway through the race. I wasn't sure whether I was going to pit this lap, only because we've been stuck in this train for a while, so our tyre wear wasn't as significant as it normally is. So it might actually have been worthwhile to stay out, but you'll find out what happens towards the end of this lap. So you can see the Lightning going for that inside now. That McLaren's got good pace in a straight line. A bit of slipstream there as well, and gets it done into the right-hander. Jomas brakes a little bit early there. Gives up the place because, again, side by side going up the hill. Not very wise here. So Lightning gets a significant advantage now over us. And we're just going to have to look for a place to overtake Jomas going up the hill. All 3 MR cars, I say. All in a train. Who's going to get the victory out of us 3? You'll have to wait and find out as we go up the hill there. Just coming on and off the throttle a little bit now. Getting a bit of understeer with this tyre wear. Coming down here. Just got to be careful. The Audi always chucks itself in there. You can see that as we come across this hill as well. Cars getting very twitchy now as we come towards the braking zone. Downhill now. This is where us 3 get very sketchy. And down we go. And Jomas just runs a little bit wide here. Compromises the hill a little bit. Hits the barrier. I accidentally hit Jomas. Jomas goes into the barrier as well. Not my fault there at all. So I go down the inside here. And a bit clean racing at the end of that. I get the position. Tsutsu trying to go around the outside. Unbelievable move by Tsutsu there as well. And I was slightly worried I'd get a penalty for that. Obviously, it wasn't my fault. Jomas hit the barrier and I hit Jomas, who then momentarily went into the other barrier. But even so, I didn't get a penalty for it, so happy days. I can continue on racing. Now, as I say, I was wondering whether to go in or stay out the extra lap, so I decided that I would stay out the extra lap here. TRL Aug, one of the leaders, going in the pits there. A few other guys staying out. So this is where the one-stop versus non-stop came in. You know, was it worthwhile? Was it not? Now, as I say, some cars had to come in, other cars did not have to. I felt I had to come in with the Audi at some point, just because the right rear especially was going to go, and going up the hill. Drifting was not my style, or not my way of thinking fun. So TRL Aug comes out the pits here. I don't want to overtake Aug at this point, so hopefully you'll see me start flashing my lights. But I think Aug tries to defend the position a little bit initially. There we go, flashing my lights. I'm like, get over, Aug. Look, I'm letting off. Come on, Aug, go. Flashing my lights, go. And there we go. I think Aug realised then I wasn't going for that move. I was just trying to stay behind. Because Aug's on fresh tyres, fresh boots, in his car. There's no point me fighting this. I will lose so much more time. And this is all about thinking smart during a race situation. Aug, I'm not racing Aug. Aug is fighting for the lead. He's racing Rick, Steve Gaming, SVDR. I'm racing Lightning, Jomas, Sutsu. So at this point, let Aug go and just continue your race as normal. You can see Aug is already sprinting off now and approaching his teammate of TRL Lightning. Coming into his left-hander we go. His Lightning does let him go here. That's very kind of Lightning, but unfortunately for Lightning, that obviously means we catch up as we now come into this braking zone again. We actually do that better than the last couple of laps, which is all very well and good. As we continue on now, Sutsu very close behind me as well, so I'm in a TRL sandwich at the moment as we now leave this corner. And obviously with the slipstream, I'm going to be able to catch up to Lightning, as you can instantly start to see we are pulling Lightning in. We're pulling. This Audi does pull when it gets into its stride. So where do we go? Lightning's in the middle at the moment. I wasn't sure where he was going to go, so it's like a fake dummy to the right and then to the left, go around the outside, come into the braking zone. We brake, we come off the brakes a little bit there, and I really shouldn't have done that because it's actually cost me, and I've ran a little bit deep here. Lightning's on my outside, but I want to come in the pits. So I'm literally going to dab the brake and try and get over. Unfortunately, I hit Sutsu, and I really should. It's a bit of bad driving there. I really should have put my hazards on to warn Sutsu I was going to do that. I did apologise to Sutsu after, but he wasn't too worried about it. I just scared him a little, was what he said. But yeah, I wanted to get into the pits there, so I was in a bit of a dodgy situation. I managed to come out of it okay, but it did cost me some more time there, time that I didn't really want to lose. So we come out in some clean air ahead of the Peugeot of CD Cost. So we're going to advance a bit further on now, because obviously we're flying up the hill. And if you want to know what I use, in the bottom left hand corner you just saw that, the TGT with the T3 PA pedals. But we're coming up, going down the hill now, and we've got Stefanzi up ahead. SVDR has pit as well in that BMW, which was a surprise, I will be honest with you. So Stefanzi going for the non-stop here, I think. Just coming into here. I wasn't sure whether Stefanzi ran deep or was just letting me go here, but if you did let me go, thank you. If you ran deep, it's an okay-ish move, I guess. We've had a little bit further on, lap number 8 now. Obviously, we're just going to fast forward to catching up to people. See, SVDR has got up to Snake at this point. Snake was on the racing hard tyres and doing the non-stop strategy. So SVDR trying to go for the move down the hill. Very sketchy move to do. Bit of side-by-side contact here, bit of bouncing. This slowed us up humongously. I mean, look at this. It slowed us right up here, but then we get a good bit of juice out the hill. Out the corner there, and Snake lets us go as well. So that's another position gained up to P11 again. Obviously we started in P10, so it'd be nice if we finished in P10 at least. Start and finish in the same place is better than losing a position overall. So we make that move stick, and obviously we've got one more lap to go now. It's got SVDR in front of us, but remember what I said earlier on. Anybody doing a non-stop is going to be 3 seconds slower on this last lap. 3 seconds. It's very significant. Sometimes actually, because I went in a lap later, it could even be up to 4. But we'll call it 3, because I know if I went in normally it would be 3. And we got 1 lap to do it in. And we can see cars up ahead. We can see a train of cars there. So there is every potential of getting this P10 position back. We've of course got SVDR in front of us as well. We could even overtake SVDR. I mean, the Audi is good on 1 lap pace when it's stable and, you know, it's fine. But even so, final lap, here we go. What can we do? Into the left-hander we go. Not a bad exit there. You can see me soaring at the wheel. That rear end wants to go, I'll tell you that much. As we head down this straight now, you could just see P9. You can just see that image just appearing in front of you there as we head down the hill. So we know, it's a couple of seconds up the road is whoever's devil in B9? P9, there we go. As we come into this corner, we nail that beautifully. As we head up the hill, you see that train is getting ever closer. So we are catching this group very, very quickly here. Me and SVDR. And there we go. So I think Devil had gone for a move on Jomas there, and it didn't quite work out on that left-hander. I say making moves up the hill, very sketchy to do, to be honest with you. Results always in contact the majority of the time. We've already seen that going down the hill as well with SVDR and Snake as we then come across the hill. Slight mistake there. That cost a little bit more time into the left-hander, and we're going to go down the hill now one last time down this hill. Can we catch up to this group up ahead? SVDR is in the thick of it as well here. As we come down, we put our foot down, and it costs us a bit more time, and that costs us even more time. You see the rear of this Audi is very sketchy at this point in the race, so you imagine trying to do a non-stop on mediums. I'm not sure we would have lasted, but you can see Jomas there doing the non-stop. He's right up ahead. Significantly for me, if we hadn't lost time with the Snake SVDR incident, and potentially with the pit as well, we would be right on the gearbox of Devil and Jomas here. So that's the risk you take by pitting or whatever it may be, is traffic. In this situation, it hasn't paid off. So you can see SVDR trying to go around the outside here, not quite worked out. Gonna run wide here, and at this point I go, he's gonna have dirt on his tyres here. So SVDR goes to the left, obviously realises it straight away. Coming towards this last corner now, it's side-by-side action. Can we get this move done? Can we get P10, which is what we want? As we come in here, racing room given by both drivers, fair play. As we accelerate out, look at that BMW go. I just don't have the power, I don't have the legs, I don't have the grip. And the BMW gets a position. So unfortunately, we lose the position overall. P11, TRL Aug. I mean, look at that, 4 seconds ahead of anybody. Unbelievable pace there by Aug. Steve Gaming P2, Ed in P3, and Carl Williams, and P4 for Rick. Quality race. Lightning beating the best of the rest in the MR cars, not including the Porsche, of course. So fair play to Lightning, and I say I hope you enjoyed that race. I did it for fun. I knew I wasn't going to get overly near the top, but even so, it was a bit of fun all the same. Thanks very much for watching. As always, video players there if you want to watch another one. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. But that's it for me for now. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.